This is Advanced Professional Practice, Unit 6, Part 2, Media Relations. So, sorry, some of this is a little bit cut off and the bullets don't appear properly. I put a copy of my book because this is taken from the book I wrote back in 2007 about the role of the public information officer, which I personally feel is incredibly important, and I'm sure you do too, that paramedic services have public information officers and not just be one single individual. Police are very good at this sort of thing. Paramedics are still really far behind. So we know that with respect to the media, that if they have a saying, if it bleeds, it leads. So the media are very, very interested in what we have to do and what we have to say, and it's why our incidents are so much of interest to the media. It captures the community's attention, and the very nature of the work that we do makes it interesting because it's an emergency, it's happening in the community, and lives hang in the balance. So they want to know from the source, they want to know directly what's going on, and the most qualified people to comment on numbers of patients and patients' conditions and the incident, if it involves anything medical or traumatic, really should be coming from us. So it also gives the media some insight into who we are, what we do, what our scope of practice is, and that's very important for the future of paramedicine, for public funding, and so on and so forth. So it's really not in a service's best interest to not have a public information officer. We do a lot of great work on a day-to-day basis, and the community wants to know that we're providing timely, high-quality professional care, and that's what they're getting from the service. And I'm just reading through these slides here. So they're pretty keen to tell a story about what we've done, and they get access to us through radio, scanning radio transmissions. They often, as you know, race to the scene of major incidents, take photos, take videos, and want to interview someone about the facts, and they're under a certain time constraint to get information into the news quickly, especially if it's near the news hour. And what they want is reliable and credible first-hand information of the situation, someone who is in uniform, someone who's informed about the situation, and paramedics on the scene are subject matter experts, and so we should be the ones talking to the media. And that doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't mean paramedics providing care at the scene. What it means is either superintendent staff or paramedics who are still on the scene but maybe not caring for someone. So they want information from the highest medical authority, and there's tremendous value in having someone speak on behalf of paramedic operations, because it informs the public, it keeps the media happy, it conveys to the public that we are professionals and that we're skilled at what we do, and that goes a long way to providing or getting funding from council when they see that we're in the media, and when they know that the public is behind us. So an increasing number of services are hiring or designating public information officers within the ranks. Toronto Police has a really good system because they have designated numerous officers, frontline officers, as public information officers, and I think that's what paramedic services need to do as well. We need to get a core group of paramedics in each service trained in media relations and how to speak with the media, and so they can talk whenever they're called upon to do so. So it's important to have a good core group of media representatives, and having one sort of head of the public information ensures that the media gets a message delivered, that policies are followed, and that Patient confidentiality is not compromised. Privacy is not compromised in any way. So a reputable PIO is considered a medical expert by the media and will be contacted for things like interviews regarding incidents, general interest stories such as illness or injury prevention, things like Halloween and what people should do to avoid their children getting injured, wearing reflective materials. That sort of is the sort of thing that PIOs do, or any paramedic trained in media communications. So every service has the opportunity to be heard and to increase its public profile with the community. And if reporters can't get the information from paramedics, they're going to get it from someone else, probably from someone less qualified, or they're going to interpret the situation based on their own understanding and likely report information that's not accurate. So a positive relationship with the media and the timely provision of accurate information is part of a philosophy of public accountability. We are a public service. We're directly accountable to the public, and either through council or public committees. And the public has a right to know what we're doing, what they're paying for with their tax dollars, and that we're able and that we're prepared to do what we need to do. So working with the media means relaying strategic messages. It means ensuring a high public presence, instilling public confidence in the service. And this public profile is also very good for politics. Many services have their annual budgets approved by City Council or by public committees, as I was saying earlier, and false perception in the media are often based on either, their perception based on sensationalized movie scenes depicting, let me take a step back. That's not what I meant. What I meant was our perceptions of media is often based on sensationalized movie scenes depicting ravenous packs of reporters and cameras, but the reality is that they are just people like you and me. They're out to do a job. They, for the most part, want to be objective. They want to be accurate. They want to get the story right. They just really want a chance to be able to ask some questions and take a few pictures. And rarely are there, unscrupulous reporters who write a one-sided story and burn a hard-earned bridge with us, because they know if they report information falsely, they may not get that individual reporter may not get the opportunity to interview someone in paramedic services again. So some of the do's and don'ts to media relationships. So the do's would include taking a course in media relations, but this, has to be approved by the service, obviously. But, even if you're not a designated PIO, it's a great idea to take a media relations course if you get the opportunity, because you may have the opportunity to speak with the media in your role, perhaps with your union or with a paramedic association, and that kind of experience and training is helpful. Important to follow ambulance policy and procedure, obviously. Be prepared, be honest, be professional, be factual. Things not to do, lie, obviously. Say things like no comment, because no comment usually implies to the media something negative. It's better to say something like, I'm not able to say because this is currently under investigation. Provide information only that you're authorized to provide, or not. So we can't provide names or personal information of patients. That would be a breach of privacy. And we don't want to provide any information that may compromise a police investigation, such as commenting inappropriately on a homicide or child abuse or sexual assault or cause of a motor vehicle collision. Those things would be under investigation. So again, short and sweet, and I'm sorry that this class didn't work for some reason. WizIQ, I couldn't seem to log in earlier, but this is the recording.